All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the rematch of last season's finals. We've got SERRAL for Basilisk in the bottom right side of the map. The man who finally broke his 5 or 6 series loss streak in a row, I believe it was, to CLEM in PiGFest 5, just over a month ago. And it was such an epic series. Probably the best finals and series we'll get in the entire year. I'm sorry, guys, to let you down. If you're watching this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not going to be as good. Number one, that was a best of 9 that went all 9 games. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. What a match it was. And, you know, especially after the history of SERRAL having close series with CLEM recently, just not being able to win any. And, of course, CLEM dominating him at the World Championship 8-0 in August last year, which was pretty darn brutal, man. Not many times can you say, you know, oh, I beat SERRAL 8 games in a row. I don't know if anyone had ever done that before or since then. So I'm not sure, you know, since SERRAL got on top of the world in 2018, if he's ever lost 8 maps in a row to any player out there. But it is going to be Last Fantasy to start things off. And this is going to be Clem's map pick. He vetoed, was it Talisman? SERRAL got rid of Kill Switch. And it's going to be Last Fantasy, a kind of map where the bases get spread out. You've also got boosty zones through the middle, which could actually be quite good for Zerg. So I'm really curious, because I've seen a lot of TVP, not a lot of Zerg versus Terran on this map, but I feel like if you get caught anywhere in this area with Terran, my golly, Ling Bane is going to benefit from those boosty zones, getting the movement speed advantage in the middle of the map. But, of course, you are going to get spread to the edges of this map. Your expansions are going to be very hard to defend. And I think this spawn location especially is a little awkward for Zerg, because you don't really want to expand towards the Terran, but at the same time, expanding down south gets hard to defend. And SERRAL does go for this first third base out front. He's going for the quick Ling speed as well, in case it was a multiple barracks Reaper or anything like that. And the Reaper's going to get pushed back for now. CLEM is the lowest seed, which is kind of funny, guys. He was asking, he's like, who picks who vetoes first? And I said, well, Clem, this is the first time you get to do it in this tournament. We have a rule where we let the lowest seeded player pick that. Despite Clem dominating SERRAL head-to-head over the last 6 months, before PiGFest 5, he's never overtaken SERRAL on a Ligulac, as far as I know. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe he did. Actually, that's something... Oh, man, there's something tickling me. Maybe he did for like a week or something? I don't think so, though, because he grinds so many weekly cups that Clem inevitably ends up dropping maps to players that SERRAL, you know, only playing the big tournaments will never drop maps to. But anyways, Hellion Reaper's going to go for a little dive. Ling speed's finished, though. And a very good tactical withdrawal. Chat has the confirmation. Thank you, Jamie, for looking that one up. And when I say Jamie, I mean Marvelous Time. SERRAL has been #1 since March 2022. Clem did manage to take #1 at a point in time back in the online era in 2021, apparently. Back when he was giving Raynor and SERRAL a bit of a hard time. Hellion Banshee opening. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a 2-gas. What is this? Clem delaying his 3rd command center. He's looking for damage. And SERRAL, he sees the depot starting here late. He hid an extra depot in the main. Ooh, if SERRAL's relying on the Scarlet Tell, then he could get caught by surprise by the Banshee. But he's not. Oh, yeah. He thinks it might be like a Liberator or something. So the Scarlet Tell that she taught me was if they don't start this depot until after 3:30, then it means they've gone 3rd CC. But he actually hides a depot in the back of the main. So that Tell, I guess, just doesn't exist anymore as long as you hide that depot. Banshee pulling back over there as well. Hellion's still rotating. Man, they can rotate quite fast in these speedy zones. I can't wait to see what this middle of the map looks like. If I was Clem, I would avoid fighting there. Ooh, Banshee doesn't quite see the Ling counterattack. Command Center only now going down at 445, 450. That's so late. There are 2 Hellions there. And oh, they try to move out, but the Ling's going to get the wraparound. And that's a good start. Clem, oh, he does not look happy. You can see the reaction big time there. You can see a sort of laughing, distressed face. Well, he's like, you got them. But... good pullback, and as always, catching Clem with his pants down completely nets you 2 SCVs. I mean, you get 2 Hellions as well, but look at that. That SCV managed to hide in between the 2 depots. I don't know if he planned that or not, but that's actually ridiculous. Lair's not quite done. Queen's taking damage. He's going to have to pay a little bit of tax here. Only 8 Zerglings out, these Hellions. Uh-oh. SERRAL very low right now on the Zergling count. Can he defend? 2 Queens have gone down. 3rd one getting low over there on the natural. Miss rally with it. That's 3 Queens down, guys. That's very expensive. Overseer's morphing. Drones will pull away. SERRAL, of course, is way ahead on the workers. Remember that this is not a normal opening. You might be wondering, wow, Clem's doing way more damage than I'm used to seeing. Remember, this is a 2 command center opening. You have to do damage, or the Zerg will run away with that game. Doesn't get the transfuse down on that queen, and I think SERRAL's going to be a little bit triggered with his queen management. SERRAL is normally so good at keeping those queens alive, because remember, they're a resource, right? They'll build up energy over time, keep healing each other. Losing 6 drones and 4 queens does cost. It adds up. You can see in the units lost tab, of course, a 4-to-1 ratio, something that a Terran player is always going to be happy with. SERRAL with the focus fire. Oh, the cloak there. Dude, there was a projectile on the way to hitting that Banshee, and he cloaks it and keeps her alive. Well done, Clem. Clem, of course, going for the 3 barracks follow-up. He's got the double engineering bay there. 3rd command center is going to float out, and he'll have to keep building depots to finish this wall off. Hellions are still controlling the middle. 1 Banshee goes down south. Remember, there is no dead space on this map, guys. There's this big air wall. It blocks you from flying around the edges. So you got to be really, you basically, like, there is always a chance for Marines or Hydras or something like that, or Queens, to cut you off. You can't just sit off in, you know, an area over a chasm or over a forest just being unhittable unless your opponent gets air units. 1-1 upgrades are on the way for SERRAL. Baneling speed about to finish up. Burrow's halfway done as well. Double drop. Not a double drop, sorry. It's a tank pickup. Wants to get rid of the 4th. Okay, cool. I was wondering where he's going to push, and I was thinking he would go through the middle, but I don't think he wants to fight in these zones. I think he's going to go down this ledge, maybe. High ground, low ground. Split the army along that ledge, or even go right along the very edge of the map is another option. That's what it looks like Clem is going to go for. He's got the upgrade advantage. 1-1 is going to time out nicely with this push as the 4th and 5th barracks comes in. SERRAL is going to go quick infestation pit. If he loses this 4th base, he is in huge problem. And right now, he's got a lot of queens on the front. 9 queens are out, 56 Zerglings, 13 Banelings. Does have Baneling speed, but does he know about this push? It feels like he senses that the army's there. He kind of saw some stuff moving down. Got quite a few units. The Spore Crawler is going to go down very quickly. Ling Bane getting ready. I like that SERRAL's already got his army split. So many players have been so bad at splitting their army. It feels like, you know, in stressful situations, because this took so long to get down here. SERRAL's been able to take his time, set up the Ling Bane flank, coming in from both sides, will get rid of those Marines, force them to pick up, gets rid of the tanks. But I've got to admire Clem's ability to keep that Banshee alive. If you can get rid of that Banshee, this is much easier to push back without the Banshee constantly getting taxed. And I'd love to see SERRAL just move forward and get rid of it. And indeed, Clem lets it go down. Time for SERRAL to split his army. Look at this. Leave some units here following, and the rest is going to go north because he knows that's coming. 4th base is on the way. Drilling Claws and 2-2. Hive's already started, though, for SERRAL. If SERRAL's quick on his +2 carapace, which he is very quick on, he's doing okay, but the creep control is getting limited. There's no queens up north, right? They're all down south, which does mean he's a little vulnerable. It's going to be a bit harder to respread creep in the north while Clem's multi-prong sieging him. And you can see, while SERRAL's defending really well, he's only on 4 bases, guys. His ledges everywhere. Could be a very nice Terran playground, finally. To 80 drones is SERRAL, but no 5th base. And that means, I don't think he wants to expand north. I think he wants to expand to this. Oh, yeah, the middle base. It's the middle base he wants to go to. That makes sense. Okay, so he starts taking the middle base. Clem still roaming this map. Hive is about to finish. Macro Hatchery goes down in the main for SERRAL, and he's usually been very quick on those Vipers and Adrenal Glands. Let's see how quickly he starts them this time. Eyes are glued to the production tab, but he's under assault. He's going to go for a counter into the 3rd base of Clem right now. Clem does not have many units at home. Oh, me, oh my. SCV's trying to get out of there. A tank does get caught by some of that Ling Bane. His whole army's going to F2 home. Tank does fall. Ling Bane chasing into the Marines, but SERRAL has to withdraw from those units. And he kills a bit of infrastructure, gets a couple of SCVs, a tank, pulls the whole army home, but he has to withdraw. Same time, south side, Queen Ling Bane does push him back. SERRAL doing a pretty good job of keeping up the activity level. He's going to maybe pick off a few Marines there as well. Catching Clem not looking, might as well punish him. The Hellbats are still in the mix. 2-2 upgrades, neck and neck, and the Adrenal Glands is coming in. No Vipers, it's just Adrenal Glands and the potential to go 3-3. That's all the Hive's done for him so far. He throws down another infestation pit. Oh my! That's meant to be an Ultra Cavern. Guys, is SERRAL using standard hotkeys? Has SERRAL not rebound the infestation pit? That's a mistake that we used to make back in 2012 to 2015 when we were too stupid to rebind our hotkeys. That's, and I and you were both on the right side of the keyboard there. It's a bit of a blunder of a hotkey. He's planning to go ultras, but he's built the wrong structure. That is unfortunate. Okay, Ling's running out the left side. We've got the Hellbat Marine coming through the middle. Ling Bane trying to roll forward. Hellbats are going to get cleaned up. One queen does go down. The Widowmine counts at 7, but not many here on the map. Oh, the speedy zones! Oh my lord! This is what I was saying. I don't know if you ever want to fight anywhere near these zones. That's why I was so curious about Clem picking this map, because I was like, look, don't get me wrong, there's clear advantages to this map where it's hard for Zerg to spread across their bases, but also, my gosh, that middle area is scary, man. You've got to be so worried. Like, don't get me wrong, you can split faster as well, but splitting is a little more reactive, and those melee units generally will benefit more, but that is a massive snipe. Oh, SERRAL pulling his whole army to the middle was a blunder, and I think now he's going to be feeling like he's just in a sinking ship, because economically, it's a 4-base Terran, and you're on 4 bases as well. It's not a good spot. You want to be up 2 bases by this point, and it feels like Clem is just going to be able to roll over him with the economy advantage. Units lost tab 5,000 in favor of... I didn't even realize he was trading so well. The retarget on the mine was actually disgusting. That is an illegal move. Guys, Clem doing control that should not be humanly possible. He kept retargeting that Widow Mine into the center of the Banelings, forcing SERRAL to pull all of his Banelings away. Oh, my lord! He's so frigging naughty. I don't know what other word to use to describe it. It's like, can we just get like a spot test for drugs? Like, can we pause the match and just like check for these reactions? This control. Clem, calm down, buddy. It's unfair that you're this good. It's actually unfair. Obviously, he's way ahead now, so it's a pretty easy finish from this point. It's a tough first map, and when you look at a big best-of series, players always pick their best map to start. So you do expect, usually, both players to win the first maps in a bigger series, especially on a newer map pool. Obviously, it doesn't always go that way, but it's not by any means surprising. So Clem does win his map here, and we'll go on to SERRAL's. All right, guys. We've got Clem in the top left side of the map, SERRAL in the bottom right. We're going to go on to Maganatha, a big boy map, and a bit of a friendlier map. And I definitely feel like SERRAL's going to be a bit happier on this one, but it doesn't mean it's a foregone conclusion. I would say definitely this series still fits a similar mold, which is how does SERRAL stop Clem? Because Clem is just so good. And even in that last game, guys, the Hellion Banshee 2cc opening, I actually think that's a perfect opportunity for SERRAL to like get ahead and just get miles ahead off the opening. But he lost 4 queens, bunch of drones, had to build a ton of Zerglings. Clem handled the Ling run by so perfectly. And you can see like Clem is not the most calm, stable guy, right? He looked like, he was like, oh, like what the hell? Like when those Lings surrounded his 2 Hellions. But it didn't really matter. It just didn't matter. Like he pulled his SCVs perfectly, didn't even have the command center delayed, and then did his own pressure really well, and SERRAL was not quick enough on that lair with the Overseer to deal with it. A few small queen micro mistakes as well. Like, I think he could have easily lost 2 less queens, and 300 minerals doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up. Now we're going to be going into Maganatha, a map where it's big. I haven't seen too much kind of top-tier late-game TVZ on this map. I mean, to be fair, we've been starved for Terran versus Zerg in general. We've seen a few best-of-3s with, like, you know, Rogue and Beyond and this sort of stuff, but it's a very different dynamic when these two are playing. They play kind of different to just about anyone else. 2 queens coming out, early link speed and a fast third hatch. Goes for the triangle first, does SERRAL, which allows him a nice easy 4th on the left, 5th on the right, so that he can kind of expand to both sides simultaneously. It's kind of like Golden Aura, this map, except for the fact that there's not like a crazy tank position. Like, don't get me wrong, this ramp isn't great to go down, but remember on Golden Aura, it was like a half-size this ramp. It was brutal. If they sieged you below it, you just couldn't go down it. On this map, it's a little more wide open. It's also covered in rock towers. These little cooling towers, you break them for 500 hit points, and it smashes a big set of rocks on the ground. Same thing over here. You can close off these entrances to this gold base. Temporarily, at least. Third command center into Starport, into Tech Labs, second gas. Hellions are now popping out. This looks a bit more of the usual sort of thing. I like that Clem changed it up in game 1, though, just to change the sort of vibe, the flow of the matchup, keep SERRAL guessing a little bit. Oh, what's he going to do? Let's see how it goes. We just had advice from Twitch chat, by the way, for those struggling to remove chat overlay on Twitch. Apparently, double tapping the screen will remove that Twitch chat overlay. Overlord goes in. That's a pretty delayed cloak, isn't it? But no, he probably still lets that finish, I guess. Cloak Banshee is pretty standard. Queens are well split. Wants to get the Reaper. Ooh, but the Reaper gets away, hey? You don't really want to fight with these queens off creep. 6 queens are out, 7th one building. Serral's lair starts up very early this time. So Serral is not going to build a single spore crawler. Guys, if you start your lair at 420, that is you saying, I don't want to build any spores. Maybe he builds one in, say, the natural or something like that, but I would imagine he just wants to have an Overseer ready at the same time that Cloak finishes. And if he times that out correctly, which I think he should just be able to do, and he'll be happy about that. Lings do see the Banshee over there. Hellions, of course, going to head in that direction immediately. Queens will intercept. Great reactions on both sides. 2nd and 3rd barracks comes down into 3rd and 4th gas. When you go for the Banshee, quite expensive, that cloak, so double engineering bay has to be delayed slightly. Hellions pull out to the left as the 4th base is down at 5 minutes. He does build 3 spores, okay. Serral really safe here. He does not want to take any chances. I mean, this also allows him to get a very quick Baneling Nest if he were to build a Baneling Nest. Guys, he doesn't have a Baneling Nest. Whoa, no Baneling Nest, no Roach Warren? Oh my lord. Is this right? This feels very late, this Baneling speed. I mean, you can play this out and it can be fine. Because, you know, stim timing is always delayed when they play Banshee. Just feels a little odd. Serral. Oh, slaps down one of the 2 Banshees. That's really nice. Now, people have pointed out, I've had some criticisms when I cast these 2 that I focus too much on Serral, not Clem. Clem is going Widow Mines rather than tanks, but other than that, he kind of has a formula. And he is the player who is the favorite. Like, in the last 6 months of these 2 going head-to-head, it is how do you beat Clem? And, you know, there's been a few times like Raynor was taking him out after EWC and stuff with some awesome muta builds and stuff, but I will try to talk about anything different he does, but Clem is so consistent with his 3 command center into Marine medevac pressure stuff. Like, it's... I'll point out variation. I'll try to talk about the basics as well where I can, but it's essentially he has something that works and he is so insanely good at it. And it's all about how Serral tries to change things up to dismantle it. How can he force mistakes out of Clem? That really is the story that we're watching here. 21 Zerglings, 5 Banelings out. 14 more Banelings are on the way. Got the Hellions on the right side. Very quick Hydra Den came in as well. That Hydra Den is already finished, but he's going to have to defend this wave, of course, without it. Baneling speed a little late, but yeah, he gets 2 Marines for 1 or 2 Banelings. Not bad. Oh, the quick unburrow Clem is so damn crisp. 4th command center goes down behind this. Remember, he's already gone 2nd factory. Did he remember his armory? Yes, he did. 2nd factory, armory, and then 4th command center. About a 35 second, maybe what, 25 second upgrade lead. Not bad, not bad. 6 more drones are on the way. Who's going to try to go down? Widowmine is going to unburrow. He'll save that as well. Clem being very perfect on his control, not letting any units get thrown away. Serral's going to try to keep some pressure going by morphing a Dropper-Lord up north. Just morphing an Overlord into a Dropper-Lord healer. I guess any unit, when you morph it, it does heal to max life, right? I don't know why I never thought of an Overlord. Yeah, that doesn't happen to an Overlord. This is the one exception. I was like, it seems weird to do that with such a damaged Overlord, but okay. I'm not imagining things. I guess that's the only unit that doesn't. All right, Marine, Hellbat, Widowmine push on the right side. Serral's got a decent Baneling count. He's got a very good worker count on 83. Clem pushing deep on creep right now. Baneling drops going in from the other side, guys. We're going to get a shot of that in a moment. We're going to get a shot of it right now. Serral pulls back, and he goes in. And he lands himself a couple of big Banes. Oh, 10 workers going down. Not bad at all. Ling Bane does clean up the left side as well. On the right side, the Marines are still there. Serral has got grooved spines. That's 6 range on his Hydras. They outrange all of these units, including the Marines by 1. And if you could just spread some Lings through maybe to set off these Widow Mines, that'd be really nice. The Overseer is here. He can defend 5 bases. I think Serral's in a pretty good position here on Maganatha. Widow Mine does get set off. Zergling drags another shot away. The Widow Mines are firing, and they're all being diffused. Really, no big high-value shots. Banelings do get clicked on by the Marines. Widow Mine fires. Look at how deep he is, though. This is very scary for Serral. He pulls his whole army, and that's always a danger when you're playing against Mr. Clem. He's got to send his army back to the top right and then just leave some units here. You can see he's trying to do it, but it feels like Serral's so starved for unit count right now. I'm really worried about this top side to the next push. Lingbane Hydra will clean that army up. Doesn't have an Overseer, which means that Widowmine will recharge its shot. Luckily, the Baneling Cocoon is going to allow that to be seen. Another Baneling drop comes in. Ooh, another 7 SCVs. Wow, hello. Oh, and looks like he dropped some Zerglings in here as well. Maybe dropped the Baneling before that. Widowmine's on the right side firing. Baneling's a little clumped. The Marine's staying very clumped as well. I do feel like it's one good flank away from Clem's entire army crumbling. On the other hand, Clem has a 4th up with a planetary. He's just shoving in on 2 sides at once. It is really hard to survive in this sort of situation as a Zerg player. Banelings just cannot get on top. And oh, he's going to snipe a hatchery. He gets close, but doesn't quite get there. Serral manages to hold on to the 5th, but only barely. He is going to have to regain control in front of this area if he wants to hold on. All right, guys, Baneling drop does morph on the top. We've got a massive army coming down south. It's still only 5 barracks. The extra barracks are now starting, but Clem has just been keeping the momentum up, and he is up 25-30 army supply. It is a scary lead for the Terran. The Frenchman just being a nasty boy. His micro is so good. Widow Mines are starting to land. Nothing crazy on the Widow Mines just yet, but there's not that much Zerg left either. And in the top, he dives in the top. Serral had to pull too many units to the bottom left. Oh, it just doesn't have the numbers to hang on. Every single queen goes down, and now Clem's into the backline. Yes, a medevac goes down with 5 Marines in it, but how do you defend when this man refuses to let a Baneling connect? Well, it turns out I do still have some power inside me, guys. No longer Pig the Grey. I am now Pig the White back from the dead to allow Serral to get his first Baneling hit on a Marine in the game out of 400. Clem, avoiding 400 Banelings, lets 1 Baneling land on 2 Marines. Holy crudsicles. Clem is, he's playing different today, guys. Super duper clean across these spread out bases. That was a nasty, nasty game 2 victory. Well, the series is off to a rough start, guys, and we're back onto Torches, a map where Serral looked amazing against Cure until he didn't. And he almost got run over, man. It was crazy the way Cure mounted that aggression, and just Serral basically won with a hidden base in this top left in super late game. But these push paths through this area and then through this area later as well, both were areas where Serral struggled to deal with it, with Terran kind of setting up in this middle area. So we'll see what he can do, because right now he has a real task in front of him. As I said earlier, this is all about how can Serral defend. He's playing 15-15 this game, guys. It's a pretty solid build in this matchup. Allows you to skimp on the Zerglings against the Reaper because your queens will defend. But realistically, what happens when you've got medevacs and Marines on one side? They stim in, pick off some units, you get on top, and the moment you get on top, they just pick up, pull back, unload, and they rinse and repeat. Because this is what Clem does, and this has been a problem with Clem for a long time. And historically, there has been one answer that Serral has preferred, and that is the Roach. We know that Serral loves Roaches, but he would much more love Roaches if he had Clem scared of Lingbane, right? Because Clem got so good against a lot of his Roach styles. He showed that at EWC. And whilst Serral can still play Roaches against Clem, it's not the smashing style that it used to be. Obviously, you've got the advantage of them being ranged units. They can pick off the Marines a bit quicker than the Lingbane, whereas the Lingbane, it's a bit simpler, I would say, for Clem to just focus down 5 Banelings, pick up, fly away. Rinse and repeat. Against Roach Ravage, it's a bit harder to do that. Now, obviously, my own personal fantasy is for Serral to use the Infestor. I do think it's an underused unit, but it's very hard to get there. And getting that, of course, the idea would be to replace the Baneling entirely with spellcasting AoE instead, which is basically a silly gamble that we've seen Serral pull off on the ladder while screwing around, and I do not think he has that one really lined up in a tournament. Even though after talking to him about it a year ago or so, he said he thinks the build has some potential, but I don't think that's confidence enough for him to pull it out in a big semi-finals against Clem. I do expect a return to Roach play here, and he's doing the gasless into 3rd hatchery build. The build which he... Oh, Clem! He blocks the drone from building a Spore Crawler. That's why you don't want to let those grenades hit you, guys. Because once he bounces you in one direction, it's very easy for the Reaper to get right on top where there's no room to build a Spore. Very nice start. Serral's going to be... Yeah, look at him. He's still shaking his head. He's so angry. Oh, gosh, guys. You do not want to be... Like, honestly, I that's really bad for Serral. Little things like that. Because this build is all about greed. On the other hand, Serral is so angry now And sometimes when he gets really angry, he levels up. Like, he actually is his best when he's very angry. He's probably the angriest Zerg. Like, he plays like a Terran player emotionally, where he's just like, I want to end you. You know, like, I mean, obviously, a lot of it's directed inwards rather than at his opponents, but he does have a gas up now. Roach Warren goes down. Now, how does Clem look to take advantage of this? He hasn't built a tech lab. He could still start that in the next few seconds and do a Swapperoonie, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a Liberator this time around. Just to mix it up. Clem's a big fan of just changing his openings, giving the Zerg different looks, so it's not too easy to always be ready for whatever's coming. Second gas goes down in the natural as well. Trick is to get out a handful of roaches and allow them to protect you so you can drone up the third. But I do feel there's always a little bit of room for a nifty Terran to kind of circle around the back and get in there. Oh, my lord. Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion Clem is taking a strategy straight from StarCraft Reddit. A Platinum League player posted on Reddit the day the map pool dropped a screenshot of this map with a meme from, was it Team Fortress or something? It was basically a dude with a big grin on his face, and it was a picture of a battlecruiser healing on this. This is the ungirdled healing shrine. Those guys, you guys know on the other maps, Persephone, it has a chastity belt healing shrine. It has an air blocker where air units can't get on it. But he's going to go battlecruiser because he can heal it for free on the healing shrine on this map. So Clem is going to literally utilize a strategy off of the Reddit, and this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because free healing is good. I don't think it's overpowered. I think a lot of people are losing their minds over healing shrines because StarCraft players are like that kid who you've kept living in a bubble his whole life, or like in a bunker underground, and then he goes outside and sees a bus, and it's like the most frightening, traumatic experience he's ever had. He's like, oh my god, like, oh, what is a big walrus doing driving at me? Like, you know, the StarCraft player base has been so coddled in terms of like stable maps that are all the same that we do freak out a little bit. If there's one thing I've realized, yes, things can be broken, but I don't know, man. Battlecruiser has been relatively ineffective at the pro level for the last year or two. I'm not sure if having quick healing there is going to be enough. Roach is coming forward, keeping it back. Overlord speed's on the way. Oh, Overlord speed, ladies and gentlemen. 51 drone Ravager Ling Queen all in. I think this beats the battlecruiser. Because I think battlecruiser is bad against this, especially if it teleports in as SERRAL's attacking. He's loading up his. Does he know what he's up against? Does he know, or is he just picking this build? Because he's going for a queen drop all. He's going to bring 6 queens, 7 queens across the map in 2 drop loads. The battlecruiser teleports in. I think SERRAL should feel very happy with the build he's picked. This is a fantastic build against what Clem's doing, in my opinion. But 1 queen is going to go down. He doesn't have any transfuse. Oh, I mean, it's good if you've got transfuse. He doesn't quite have any transfuses yet. Oh, gosh. Dude, is he going to lose all of his queens before the attack starts? Oh, no. Oh, no, for Clem, though. Clem, big doo-doo, makes a massive mistake. Roach Ravager busting on the other side of the map. That battlecruiser's already used up his tack jump. He's going to try to fly home. It's a single battlecruiser into bio tank opening. Somehow he's got a tank out on time. Clem's macro is ridiculous. What the heck? How does he have a siege tank out? I do not know. Obviously, SERRAL's not completely all in, but he does need a lot more damage. The Marines on the high ground, not to mention the tank there. Biles go down. Is that a triple? He only got a double. Okay, he gets the third. He does get the third Bile on the tank. The Marines don't have Stim yet. Stim's going to kick in, but the Lings are already on top. Oh, Stim just a few seconds too late. And the battlecruiser, it's almost home. These Lings, they need to get to work. He brings the Queens now as well. The battlecruiser comes back, and the Queens are like, get out, boy. SCVs are going to try to repair. Dude, this is actually crazy. The Overlord does take a deuce on the ground, which the carpet does allow the Queens to transfuse, but the battlecruiser is going to get healed. Biles and Lings, though, can take out those SCVs. Biles do land on the battlecruiser. Tank taking big damage. Lings on all sides. Queens picking up and dropping on top. Clem getting jumped on top of. Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw 2 build orders, and Clem, he had a bit of a smile on his face. He was like, oh, okay. Wanted to try the cool build. I admire both players for that. SERRAL commits to a very good timing, and Clem goes for a very fun experimental opening with a single battlecruiser, and SERRAL gets a point on the board. All right, guys. We've got Liquid Clem in the top right side. Does drop a map doing something experimental, but Clem's willingness to gamble, to take risks, to try new things, I think is what's kept his play very exciting and interesting recently. And we've got SERRAL in the bottom left. Now, do we see another gasless build? It looks like it's going to be another hatch gas pool. I think he might be worried about a 2-Rax Reaper opening. And I think he maybe doesn't want to get caught going gasless against those. I do feel like the really quick link speed may have been a bit unnecessarily safe, though. Oh, thank you so much for the subs there, Yordle, as well. Really appreciate that, guys. Being very generous. Now, the light on Clem's monitor, like flashing on his face, is he just tabbing out to change his music? I bet he was tabbing out to change his music, guys. Or is his monitor just flash like that when he flashes from... Oh, no, it's because when the area's dark, if you watch his face, when he goes to a dark area of the minimap where he doesn't have vision, the screen's darker, and then he goes to his base and it's quite bright here, this tile set. And he's probably... I don't know if you guys know about the maximum gamma setting some pro gamers play on. So some pro gamers, I used to do this, would crank the gamma up. It's like, basically the screen is like the lowest graphics ever, and it's irradiating your eyeballs with the amount of like gamma and brightness and stuff. But everything is very visually clear. It makes StarCraft 2 look very ugly. Some would dare say fugly, even, I believe. Might be far enough. It's always funny because a lot of casual players, you don't really watch pro gamer streams at all. Just watch tournaments, and it's most people. And then they watch their first pro stream and they're like, oh my God, what is this? Like, why is it so ugly? They're like, is this StarCraft 1? And we're like, no, that's StarCraft 2 technically. It just looks a certain way. Here we go, Reaper's coming in as well. Yeah, there's a lot of old tricks. If you look at old Counter-Strike, I remember everyone would... They'd have like the resolution really low on Counter-Strike so that you could see through the smoke. Because the smoke literally was just like, couldn't block the whole screen because there wasn't enough pixels or whatever. I don't know, like, it's... Uh-oh. Dude, is he gonna get the queen? Oh my gosh, double Reaper, the SCV! The SCV adds 2 hits and he gets the queen! CLEM builds an engineering bay, builds a second Reaper, and SERRAL has officially entered Tilt Town. Guys, this is not a crazy commitment. This is literally, he just built a second Reaper. It's not that big of a delay. But dude, he has completely thrown SERRAL in the dumpster. SERRAL is mad right now. I kind of wish this was Raynor. If we could sub, like, if Raynor would be angry as well. But I don't know, man. Can SERRAL pull it together? I almost, like, I want to see some crazy counter all-in stupidity now. Like, I want to see you go punch him in the face as hard as he punched you. I feel like Raynor would immediately swing back right now. Right, looks like SERRAL's going to swing back as well. Is it going to work? It's 2 Hellions. The Overlord sees him. I don't think he shoves in. I think he waits for the Hellions to move out. Oh, and he hits a Dark! He does Dark's build, guys. 3 Overlords on 44 with 8 lava saved up. Starts a Rotron and cancels it. Oh my lord, SERRAL is... Guys, SERRAL's actually... He's a bit behind. He's a few steps behind here. Oh my lord. This is not a good start for him. He's had to take the suboptimal third. He lost a queen. Had to build 16 more Zerglings that weren't drones, so he wasn't even saturated on 2 base this whole time. And now he's going for a Bane Bust. Yeah, he basically, guys, SERRAL has made the assessment that he is so screwed. He messed this up so bad. He has to just win with a dumb all-in. And that's his best. His best bet right now is keep it simple, stupid. Now, he has to pull every queen to the front. He's not an expert at hiding these builds. He needs to pull every queen to the front, but oh my god, one of the queens is red! The Lings there I mean, it's already sus. Seeing that many Zerglings, and the 2 barracks are pumping Marines. There's a bunker! CLEM has a reserve bunker! He smells something! He goes, what's that smell? Oh, it smells like Desperate Zerg player. Oh, what do Desperate Zerg players do? Well, CLEM used to get wrecked by Dark. In the last 2 years, he has dominated Dark. Absolutely dominated him because he's developed the ability to sniff out things like this. Things like this he used to always lose to. Dude, if he sells that... Oh, he sold the bunker! He sold the bunker! It's coming in. The command center's going to see it, though. The command center does see it, which means the depots will get up if Stim gets up as well. Stim is 6 seconds away. Oh, SERRAL not hiding it from the command center. It really hurts. But the depot doesn't get up. Is that enough? SCVs try to block the Banelings. He's on top of the ramp. I think SERRAL can get out micro, though. CLEM, 1 Baneling on top. Oh, good focus fire, though. And SERRAL does not look convinced. SERRAL... That felt very desperate for him there in game 4. And CLEM, we got to rewatch that at the start. We were talking a bit too much banter there. I was like, this is a really cool block, but you know, we'll see what happens. I did not expect that. He just builds a second Reaper, guys, straight after the first. And then SERRAL almost, he's been doing the exact same way of taking his third for a while, and it's worked really consistently. And CLEM, he just identified this little opening where he said, wait a second, I can get in here. Second Reaper. And suddenly, I mean, the Queen should have started fighting earlier. She's way too far off creep. I think if she started fighting earlier, maybe she could have not died. But then the SCV even hopping off the eBay to join in is just brutal, man. Wow, this is a savage start. It's a really well done, savage start in the early game for CLEM. GG, well played. All right, guys, the Twitch chat has pointed out that CLEM down here is playing normally, while SERRAL has angrily pulled his headphones off of his head. Oh my. Is this like Star Wars: A New Hope? When they're like, oh my god, he's put away his aim assist. What are you doing, Luke? What are you doing? You know? And he's like, he's trusting in the Force, guys. He's just gonna trust in the Force to guide him in. he's locked in. I hope it works. I hope the Force is strong with this one. Oh, we'll see how he goes, man. We'll see how he goes. This is gonna be really interesting, dude. Oh my. Because those headphones, they were the issue, man. They were making his ears hot. Unironically, when you are like kind of tilted and molding and things are like not going your way, you're feeling angry as a player and things are intense, there are times like a little bit of discomfort can actually get you angry. Like sometimes you need to just take out your frustration on the slightest thing, right? We all think of tennis players smashing their rackets. We all think of, you know, players starting to blame the umpire or the referee over the tiniest little thing. Those headphones are going to be the focus. SERRAL's outlet. Remember, guys, if you're a true pro gamer at StarCraft, you do not show up without a couple of excuses up your pockets. They do say the pro gamer's sleeve is even looser than that of a wizard. You never know what he's got hidden up there. Could pull a rabbit out of a hat, could pull out a, it was the lag, I didn't sleep well, it's the jet lag, I didn't practice this build, you played so stupid that I didn't expect it. There's a lot of ones out there, but for SERRAL, I think it might just be the headphones. We'll see how it goes. I really hope he can bring this one back. He's delaying Ling speed, which tells us, guys, he's most likely going to be playing Ling Bane. But trying to do it a bit more macro-centric. I think he feels like he's been a bit behind in the other games, and he's going to look for a more streamlined and efficient defense. Now, he only loses one Zergling, which is no big deal at all. And the Reaper's still hanging around. Remember, this is CLEM's Reaper. SERRAL did talk a little bit about how CLEM's Reaper does annoy him when we were talking to him in his interviews. Just you know, we're talking about Proparas, and he, you know, without even mentioning it, he brought up, yeah, same when someone's, you know, CLEM or someone's running their Reaper around my base. It's pretty annoying. It's just will not leave, constantly looking for openings, forcing you to react. And that really is the Reaper. The Reaper is the early game unit that just, it forces your opponent to be really safe with the basics. Things like, look at that, he's got to have a second queen just to get his first creep tumor down. Doesn't have a queen on the high ground, so the Reaper could have gone in there, but 6 drones being built. Very nice Overlord timing behind it. Third command center into Starport, double Hellion, and then second gas. Tech Lab goes down as well. Looks like a really typical Hellion Banshee opening. No more 2 barracks for CLEM. Remember, guys, this is a best of 7, not a best of 9. We've got Hero against Dark in the next best of 7 semis. Played these in a different order just due to a little scheduling conflict we had. One of the players had a meeting or something they had to go to. But then we've got the finals best of 9 after this tonight as well. So it's going to be a night of very big StarCraft action, even if this one does finish early. And honestly, wouldn't that just be so impressive? As much as I'm cheering for SERRAL and I want him to win a few maps here, I don't care if CLEM wins, right? I love both these players. I just think they're such fantastic personalities and players in the scene. So great to watch. I always look for the closer series, but if CLEM can beat him 4-1, what a message that would be. He'd say, yeah, you beat me last time, barely. You may have broke the losing streak, but it was a one-off. And if he can get back in the win column right after, it feels more like, oh, okay, because like that win in the last PiGFest finals for SERRAL, you know, that could be, oh, the era of CLEM dominating SERRAL is over. It's back to them being like competitive, and SERRAL may be beating him more often than not. But CLEM wins 4-1. Man, that would be dominant. This is good for SERRAL. SERRAL's very happy to take these trades. As long as he saves a bit of energy for Transfuse. First Banshee chilling at home. Still building Hellions. 8 Hellion total. Second and third barracks goes down. Third and fourth gas after that. We build a depot. And we'll see a double engineering bay go down at 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, he's already gone for one. Didn't even have money for the second. Goes to the single engineering bay. He tried to click both, but probably didn't quite have the money. Hopefully he notices. And indeed he does. Clem's so good at noticing everything. Alien's still trying to skirmish with the queens. They haven't found anything. Ling's going to go down the left side. Oh, Overlord sees it. SERRAL. Oh, slow reaction by SERRAL. He shows the Zerglings. It's a mistake. Clem sees it. He can drive home. Aliens will come back. Lings could still find a couple of SCVs, so kind of bizarre that he still rallied in here despite that. Maybe he didn't notice it. Damn. Small mistake for Clem. I mean, he only caught a glimpse of the Zerglings, so it's not hard to miss that for most people. I guess I'm used to Clem being so aware of his minimap at all times. 6 SCVs do go down. That's a fantastic start. People are asking me a lot, how do you stop the Marine medevac? How do you stop this? What are you supposed to do with SERRAL? Guys, if you play Ling Bane, you are meant to counterattack. You are not allowed to let Clem just attack you all game. You cannot do that long term unless you have a big economic lead. You need to counterattack. You need to be hitting him, force him to look elsewhere. If Clem is only looking at the front, or if he's got a bit of like economic momentum and whatnot, and his economy is just untouched, it's very tough to control against the Marine medevac two-prong pressure. But this game, I think, has been way better than the previous ones. As SERRAL starts attacking his own hatchery. Just a misclick. Where's Carapace? Oh, this is a big mistake. He's so far ahead on workers. Like, this is 10 more drones as well. Guys, SERRAL's going full 2021 Rainer right now. Wow. 80 drones at 6.5 minutes. Unfortunately, he's forgetting an upgrade. Oh, that is... Okay, he realizes. He does realize that's very important. I mean, it still sucks. That's a pretty big delay. 40 seconds almost. But it could have been much worse. He's going to stay up well above 80 workers. Fully mining fourth. Macro hatchery. How do you get through this? Clem's going to go double fact. Fourth command center is going to drop after the armory, which is already down. His armory's been super early, actually. I guess because he wanted to start drilling claws. Where's that fourth command center? What's this? What are you doing? I mean, surely he's not building a fourth over here. Marine drop tries to go into the main base. I think that must just be a misclick. Double drop moves to the left right now. We've got the Banshees. Haven't really done much. Units lost time is pretty great for SERRAL. Almost even, which is amazing actually for him. Oh, Speedbane's rolling in. The Reaper throws a grenade to slow them down. Nobody, when they see Speedbanes rolling in, throws a Reaper grenade except Clem. Oh, the Queen wall off, almost complete. Not quite good enough. He will lose some drones. I don't think this is too bad, though, for SERRAL. He's on 85 workers. He can just hold the drone key down. Hellions will go down cost for cost. That's good for him. Just a little distraction, though, keeping SERRAL on his toes. He's going to need another Spore Crawler. Yeah, look at this. I'm like, he actually needs another Spore to cover this main. Oh, Clem's being so annoying. These Queens will come down as well. Gigachad Spore does get a few hits, which is always nice. Oh, hey, that's heaps good for SERRAL. Clem not watching. Takes a bit of extra damage on those medevacs. It's going to be Lingbane Hydra again. The army pushing down the right side. We'll see. I'd love to see some more just roaming Ling packs to try and just keep Clem moving. Banshee's there, denying the 5th base up front that he'd like to take. Hydra Lingbane ready to speed down. Oh, it's a boosty zone fight. Clem going into the acceleration zones, guys, is a crazy move. My gosh, it's so fast. What in the heck, man? That's absolutely wild. Clem getting jumped on there. Remember, SERRAL already had a good start. And guys, stepping into an accelerator zone when you're a glass cannon ranged unit is not smart. The hand-to-hand guys really, really like being there. The ranged units do not. That right corridor should be a no-go zone. But Clem, he disrespected it in Game 1 and Last Fantasy. It didn't matter because he was already so far ahead. Disrespecting it here as well. Zergling is going to block. I don't think he has Burrow this game. Oh, no +2 carapace, guys. Oh my gosh. SERRAL's had a way better start, but I'm definitely noticing a few small mistakes in this series that don't normally pop up. And remember, there was a few small uncharacteristic SERRAL mistakes in the EWC final series where he got 5-0'd as well. He's in such a good position economically from the early game, but if he's not continuing his upgrades, then he will drop down, and it does feel like Clem's been a bit too much for SERRAL today. And even though SERRAL's ahead in this game, if Clem can, he's got his 4th coming up. If you get a few more commands and his micro 1 or 2 good fights, I still worry for SERRAL. Widow Mines are there. Clem pulling back pretty nicely. Looks for the Widow Mine, not quite able to connect. Marine Mine on the left. Dives in deep. At least this is going to remind SERRAL that he hasn't been upgrading. That's the one bonus of that coming in. But SERRAL's kind of frantic. I don't know if he does realize he's got Adrenal on the way while he's on friggin' 1-1 upgrades. I mean, it's 1-1-1 upgrades, so at least he's got a range upgrade as well in there, but long term, it's very bad for him. 3-3 could be starting soon. Nidus Worm going up in the back of the main base, guys. Looks like he's got Lurkers inside there. Lurker range not quite done. He's going to be able to get out at least 1 Lurker if he chooses, but I think he might not even unload. Gets 4 out. Oh, Widow Mine does land. Another Nidus goes up. Lurker's going to do some damage at the same time. Big fight in the front. Does take out a bunch of Widow Mines before they can fire. Wow, it's an ambush there. The Marine spready, though, is pretty nice, but the Hydras still take out a couple of medevacs, which is delicious for SERRAL. Another Nidus Worm pops up in the main. Lurker's popping out. Queens as well. The Banshees get shot down. The Transfuses are good. Oh, who needs upgrades when you got a Nidus Worm in your opponent's backdoor? SERRAL says, do you see me now, mate? Do you see me now? Gets himself a fantastic opening with things like skipping Ling speed at the start, being that little bit greedier, deflecting everything just right. The Ling run by when the Hellion Banshee tried to poke him, and he gets himself off to a better start. And even with a few small mistakes slipping through, he has done game-ending damage. His main army should be pushing down the right at the same time, because you know this is going to get cleaned up. Probably evacuate is what I would do here. But since there's no tanks, libs, or ghosts, is there just no answer to Lurkers, guys? I think there might just be no answer to the Lurkers. Queen's up front tanking. They need to pull back a little. Oh, my lord. Engaging this with Marine Mine. Ooh. I mean, pretty costly trade there for Clem. He cleans it up. But at what cost? SERRAL just waltzes down the right side of the map and annihilates Clem's 4th. SERRAL staying alive in this series. GG, well played. All right, guys. Clem drops another map. Still up 3-2, though, as he goes up against what appears to be another 15 hatchery build, perhaps? Well, maybe. Doesn't have to be, right? As 15 hatchery would be before Overlord. So, no, this is going to be just the hatch gas pool again. Now, I do wonder if he's willing to play Macro Roach, because SERRAL has not shown a single Macro Roach game here against Clem, right? He went Roaches only on Torches, where he went for the big all-in. Now, a few points, excuse me, guys, sorry, from the last game. I missed Clem healed his Hellions multiple times on the Healing Shrine. You guys know how I was like, damn, why does he keep fighting these Queens? This seems kind of silly. It's because there was a Healing Shrine on that map, and while I was looking at the Banshees and the Ling counter, he kept going back to the Healing Shrine to heal. So that was actually really smart usage of the map by Clem. Just basically saying, hey, let's friggin', you know, just bounce back to the Healing Shrine, trade much more aggressively on the Queens, and force them to transfuse each other a bit more. Didn't work out with any serious damage, though, and SERRAL did get away with a better opening. And I think one of the best things is a lot of players get angry and run into a wall in StarCraft. SERRAL is so good at making minor adjustments, and already, we saw in the last game, what did he do? He didn't rush Ling speed. So he delayed Ling speed until after his 3rd was down, focused on getting a handful more drones out, slightly quicker 3rd, and that's really helped speed things up. Chat says, so whenever Clem tries to do something funny with the map, SERRAL just beats him. That is a very StarCraft player experience, isn't it? Try to do something experimental, doesn't work out. But, I mean, I don't think it really changed his build that much, other than maybe committing to 2 more Hellions than he otherwise planned to. But getting caught out by the Ling Rally is good. Looks like we've got the mascot of SERRAL down here, guys. The drones. Hey, buddy, how you doing down there? He's like, oh, I'm just playing some StarCraft. This is a Gold League Protoss player down there. Off on the side. I don't know. There's just something about... Was this... I guess this animation, I think, was designed to be on the bongos and was already in the thing. And they realized, hey, we can sit this guy in front of a computer and it actually looks like he's... Because literally, the default animation that it's in the editor... It's meant to be, obviously, they're Ewok inspired, right? And, you know, the Ewoks are playing basically the drums on the Stormtrooper helmets at the end of Return of the Jedi. I'm pretty sure Blizzard put that in, but there's like Marine helmets, basically, right? And you'll see those sometimes on the edge of maps. There'll be like a couple of the Moopies sitting around a campfire, and one of them's playing the bongos on a Marine's helmet. And you're like, oh, that's funny. But I just realized, like, hey, did the map maker just edit this to be animated? And I'm like, oh no, it's the same animation as when the Moopie's hitting the bongos. Reaper's dancing. Wing speed is there as well. Hero and Dark will be in our next semi-finals, guys. Winner of that will face the winner of this for the entire championship. We have hit our $10,000 goal now for this tournament, by the way. So, as I'm speaking live, we are only raising money till the end of today to get the kitty started for PiGFest 7. So thank you, everyone who's been a part of making that happen. Oh, no Tech Lab, guys. Was this Lib? Okay, Liberator starts up. Yep. Okay, Liberator. Now, Liberator, Clem is very annoying with his Liberator. But if SERRAL sees it coming, usually he's very good with his Spore Queen movement to deal with it. Alien Reaper's there as well. Got the Barracks with the Tech Lab. Now coming down. Pretty chilled out opening. A Liberator is less committed than a Banshee. So keep in mind, Clem's going to be able to get towards second and third Barracks a lot quicker. SERRAL, he's back on gas right now. No second gas mining just yet. Lair goes down. This does just look like, once again, Hydraling Bane. But who knows? Maybe he skips Hydras and just rushes up. Second and third Barracks going to go down in the main base for Clem. And he will be swapping that factory off. Maybe after 2 more Hellions? No, swaps it off immediately. So a total of 8 Hellions, 1 Liberator. Liberator goes down the right side. And to be fair, this is actually where there's not that much of vision if it slides down. Oh, it does get glimpsed, though. Does SERRAL notice it? He hasn't moved his queens yet, which tells me probably not. Spore Crawler does go down. Queens are moving. Lings are there. Oh, I think the Lings are going to do well. Remember, SERRAL struggled against the Hellion run by on this map previously, but he's doing better this time. Queens are on top of the Lib there. Lings, there's more of them rallying out. With more Lings on top of the ramp, I don't think these Hellions get much damage. Yeah, with the Queen and the drones on top of the ramp, you ain't getting up there. The Liberator did go down to these Queens on the bottom of our screen. Oh, no, it didn't. It rotated. It survived on 9 hit points. Oh, cheeky. What? He's going to unsiege it and get it out of there as well, knowing him. Oh, he micros there to get 1 more kill. And he's going to go siege this in the corner, is he? Now, this map is one of the few, I think, that has enough dead space to hide back there. But you know what? 4 drones, a bit of mining time. Still, I think, a good success for SERRAL. He did lose a lot of Zerglings, 25 Zerglings, but 8 Hellions, a Reaper, and that Liberator probably not going to have any impact for the rest of this game, I would imagine. Ooh, Fresh Mule! That was about 175 minerals left of potential mining, and an SCV. Not worth going after that guy. He's a bit too protected in the corner. SERRAL gets a few points back. It's going to be tank on the high ground. 4th and 5th barracks. 1-1 upgrades are on the way for Terran, with the +1 armor lagging a little bit. And the Evos are up. SERRAL starts those upgrades at about 608. Not bad, considering there was heavy aggression for the Terran. But between Carapace and +1 attack, it's a gap of about 50 seconds. Maybe 45. 4th hatchery already being up at 6 minutes, though. SERRAL on 72 drones. I think SERRAL could probably squeeze about 4 or 5 more. I think he's got to stop there and start massing Ling Bane, though. Because he's only got 5 Zerglings, 8 Queens. And as I said, this is not a double Banshee opening. The double drop comes across the map a little bit quicker. You know, the 1-1 shields, all that stuff. Not as delayed. SERRAL should see it coming. He's making 18 Zerglings, 2 more Queens. It's going to be 10 Queens. I do think this drop still has a potential window to do damage, as 9 Banelings do morph. Lings are ready. He sees it now. The Queens will be able to move down. He's got a good 6 or 7 transfuses at least here, maybe more. Queens should be able to buy a bit of time. Oh, good transfuses, but you got to actually pull back there. You can't let the Marines stand and fight, because you can see just how crazy their damage output is. If you pull the Queen back as well, it breaks up their damage a lot. It makes it much easier for the Queen to heal. Liberator's still in the back. Overseer will go down. Good catch for Clem. Nicely done. Ling Bane here from the high ground. Clem does try to do some fancy focus fire, but a few hits on top of that. And I love that SERRAL chases this. Something I was criticizing SERRAL for last PigFest a little bit is not chasing these medevacs. And he would kind of make Clem pick up here, and then Clem would unload here and immediately stim back in and kill 3-4 more Banelings. So I do think pursuing the medevacs to allow your creep a bit more time to spread, delay the time between these Marines finding damage is really crucial. Now, other than that, I think sliding a counterattack across the map is also key. I don't know if he needs to go Bane drops or anything. There are tanks actually, I mean, counterattacks are going to do nothing unless he invests a massive amount. High ground tanks, a very serious problem. And that 4th command center is already almost done. Wow, Clem's macro is good today. Marine's going to try to stim into the base. Lings are forced to engage. Units lost time, 600 ahead for Clem. He's going to, no doubt, build upon that. The question is how much. Always going to build upon the gap. Oh! Clem gets a bit greedy. Does not pick up. Banelings get a good connection there. Anytime that happens, Zerg's very happy. Infestation Pit goes down, Overlord speed and Hydra upgrades, but 2-2 or even 1-2 upgrades are more important. If he wants to go heavy Hydra, definitely needs the range upgrade at some point, though usually 2-2 first would be a bit more standard. Hydras are just for support. Massive army top left. Massive Terran army, even bringing 2 siege tanks. Does he leave any? He leaves 1 tank in the third, but that's it. He's going to leave a bunch of biomine going down the right side. Liberator thinks about going in the back. He's going to potentially do that as well at some point, though the Spore Crawler is, of course, watching for it. Lingbane Hydra trying to defend. 80 workers for Serral. Oh, Serral's Lingbane tries to roll forward. Does not connect. Oh, no. He's got no Banes left. But I think he might have the numbers anyway. He should be able to defend this, especially with new Banes coming in. Right side, scary, though. He's got to defend this with whatever's up here because the bottom right has to stay on location. Banes are going to go boom, boom, I believe. Oh, okay. Does not focus the Widow Mines. Didn't quite focus on that. He wanted to get the Marines there. And he does end up losing quite a few of these units. Uh-oh. Serral's got to be careful. Clem goes for the Doom Drop in the main. The Mad Lad. Clem right now is pressing his advantage. He says, screw this. Let's go. It still feels like a game that's neck and neck. I don't really think Clem's that far ahead or anything, but he's just kind of saying, hey, I'm in your base. I'm in your face. Let's go, go, go. Hydras are going to wreck at least one. No, he picks up, or doesn't unload. He turns around very quickly. Second infestation pit's about to finish, guys. I think it's the second, not the third, right? Yeah. 3. He built 3 infestation pits. Serral is so tilted today. This is what I'm saying, guys. This is not Serral's best day. Clem's playing very good StarCraft, but Serral has made so many mistakes today. 3 infestations. I saw a second one while the fighting was happening. I did not expect a third one to be built. What the heck? The Queen Hydra Lingbane trying to fight on this side. Clem finds a hole in the middle. Any holes a goal for this Terran army. They are absolute fiends. The Widow Mines do smear that front line, but there's not many Marines left on this side. Serral will defend on the right. He needs an Overseer there, though, to clear that up. He only loses 3 drones, which is kind of impressive. Clem continuing to bounce around. He's playing this a lot like Bunny, who we've watched a lot over the last few days. Overseers will morph. The Queen's with that. If he can clear these Widow Mines, Serral can stabilize, maybe. But, dude, Clem is just being such a D-bag of the way he's playing this. And I say that as the biggest compliment. I'm saying if you put yourself in Serral's shoes, you're going to go, oh my god, stop being so good at micro and multitasking, please. Like, it's that level. Chat's referring to it as demon mode. I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, he's playing in a way that is not fair to play against. It's very good StarCraft. Lurker ends up. +2 Carapace finally about to kick in. He did go for +1 range as well. +2 melee does start up behind it. Lurker's starting to morph. There's a ton of Widow Mines. Those Lurkers would slow things down. They might allow Serral to get back in it. I'm not sure who's favored in the late game. I was chatting to Lambo about this the other week. I think the feeling was that because of the Ghost change, Zerg might be a little favored in the late game, but it's very hard to say this early on in the patch because we haven't seen that many high-level late-game Zerg versus Terrans. That hatchery just went down. Back to 4 base for Serral. 4 base Zerg against 5 base Terran, guys. Well, that's usually a death sentence. We'll see what Serral can make of it. Any Street Beefs fans out there would know death sentence isn't always the least entertaining thing. Usually the most entertaining, in fact. I've seen that guy slap a few people in the face a few times. Marine Marauder picks up and pulled to the backside. We've got Bio running down the bottom right as well. Serral's got a decent army there. Lurker's going to siege on the left. 5th Command Center is coming up. Medevac's moving down. +3 Carapace is on the way. Serral is far behind in supply and income. And he doesn't have any Vipers, does he? No Spore. Oh, he's got a Spore! Gigachad Spore takes out a full Medevac and another Medevac with units inside. The Gigachad Spore just killed a good 15 bio units. Still under siege on the right side, though. The Lurker's struggling hard. Needs another Overseer. I think rolling those Banes in is a good choice. Gets a bunch of Widow Mines, forces the bio back. The Queens are in trouble. Links around, whatever's remaining there. The Gigachad Spore did go down, but of course his life was worth it. Serral trying to counterattack through the middle, perhaps. He does have a decent little army out. Lurker range is about to come in, but there's already 7 ghosts out and Livs building. Oh my lord. And Clem just refuses to take a backward step. If you run at him, he just ducks underneath, picks over you, goes past. He's so annoying. He's playing this map so well. The spread of the bases for Serral, you know, Clem is really showing, hey, this is hard to defend for you, mate. And look at that. He's going to start sniping the Lurkers. 2 Lurkers go down despite Serral's attempt to micro against it. How can Serral get back into this game? It feels like Clem is just all over him. Serral is still maxed, though. There's always the chance for the comeback. And the greatest player of all time has a maxed out army, has an 80 drone economy. 5th base is mining again. I don't know where he takes the 6th. Probably on this gold base. Unless he can somehow wrestle the top left corner off the Terran, which right now seems like a bit of a fool's errand. Counterattack has to be the play. This is the correct one. He's going to dive. Only a tank guarding the third right now. Natural's looking rather open. Going to get on top of this infrastructure. Left side, Clem's counterattack will go in. Of course, that's his natural response to that. Oh, the Widow Mines do land on some Banes. Ling Bane Lurkers getting through. Few ghosts taking damage in the natural. Some of them dying on that rally. This army's going to pull back from the right side, so the offlane squad will pull back. But dude, Hydra's doing good damage. They can deal with the Libs as well. Yeah, these Hydras will take care of that Liberator. Lings are in the natural. Oh, man. Dude, Clem was playing so good for so long. But he just got... He sat here with this army for too long. And if only a handful of Zerg units held him back, he's finally realized, what's going on? How am I losing this game? And it's because he had a massive army just doing nothing on the left side of the map. And SERRAL finally found the hole. He knew he was up against the wall. He was in a desperate position. SERRAL got forced to do something desperate. He did it, and he found a massive opening. It was a very dark style move, you know? Oh, you're going to be all over me? No worries. Grab my army, shove it through the middle, find the opening. Worked out pretty nicely. If you can catch this army in the retreat, it'd be good. But with no Banelings, I don't think he beats this army unless he catches Clem not looking and gets us around of the Ghost. 5 Ghosts go down instantaneously and 2 Widow Mines. Oh, my lord. He was cleaning up the Lurkers in the natural, but there's more Lurkers there as well. I cannot believe we are getting a Game 7. This series has been brutal, man. Both players are just slapping each other in the face. I don't know how we are getting a Game 7. It's crazy. What the heck? But this is what happens. New map pool, right? It's a new map pool. The players aren't as used to it. The games are a bit more brutal, a bit more savage. And they are both fighting so hard. These Lurkers do get jumped on in the middle of the map. SERRAL looks intense. Clem looks frustrated. Exasperation on his face as he struggles to break through here. There's a Lurker on that side. And the Banelings are going to roll into that 5th base. The planetary goes down as well as the orbital. For Clem, you can see there is an exasperation and a frustration because he knows he was in a very, very good position, but he forgot to look out for the classic problem. We've talked about this many times in this matchup. If you commit your entire army to both flanks in late game, the weakest area for a counterattack is literally the middle. And this is actually something which I remember Maru exposed a lot of players for in TVT many times, where people would have a tank army sieging him here, tank army sieging him here, and he'd just shove 50 Marines through the middle, stim on their production, and win the game, right? And that became kind of a standard TVT move. But players sometimes forget about this in Zerg versus Terran versus Zerg, but it's like, hey man, they got Ling Bane, they've got the most mobile army. Zerg is the race where it is most natural to go for this dive towards your natural in your production, avoiding the planetaries on the left side, avoiding this army, avoiding that army, and that was a brilliant move for SERRAL. All right. Well, I can't believe we've made it here. I really thought we were having like a 4-1, at best a 4-2. Somehow, it's going to be a 4-3. Who is going to win, though? Clem in the top right of Sandworm, who's had a big lead, and now the momentum has shifted away from him, perhaps regretting building battle cruisers and using healing shrines and trying different things and not just going for the most cookie-cutter builds. Maybe. He might be regretting that, but I think he still has a very good shot here. I still think it's going to be tough for SERRAL. And it's a game of inches. Remember, StarCraft 2 is so much about the early game. It's so much about those little advantages. Like, if Clem can just, like, you know, get an early drone kill, get some Hellions in or something like that, or just, you know, catch a big volley on Zerglings, not let the enemy Ling run bys do anything to him, I think he'll be really good. But I do think SERRAL's done a very good job of poking and prodding either the natural or the third at clever timings with Zerglings over the last few games. And that's going to make Clem a bit more uncomfortable. Clem does have the advantage of the longer hair. How many inches, Pig? Well, I'm not a precog, guys, so I can't see. We'll have to wait and see the end of the game. But we're going to measure that cactus. That's a pretty big cactus. I don't know. 80? Maybe 100 inches? Pulling off gas. Nice and early. So we're going to send a drone out to the third. And he's going to take the front one. Clem trying to block the left. Okay, I like this. SERRAL not letting himself get blocked. He does not want to let Clem screw with him like that eBay on ley lines. That was a really unfortunate game, that was. All right, Reaper running around here. Going to try and get a little bit of harassment off. Good pullback on the drone. Great pullback on the Zerglings as well. Queen's going to be out. Oh, I love this. When at the highest level, guys, the metagame changes. Because the Zerglings are the more reliable target to take out, because people are so good at pulling their drones away and they can turn them into buildings, the pros actually spend more time going after Zerglings with their Reaper than drones. And as a result, you actually attack the Reaper with the drone while the Zerglings run away. That's like, that only happens when you're watching the top players in the world. You know? Do not copy this, guys. Do not run away from the Reaper with your Zerglings and attack with your drones. If you do that in Platinum League, you're not going to have a good time generally. These are the actions you only take when you have incredibly high actions per minute and you're actually going to monitor your units to make sure they don't then chase the Reaper off creep and get themselves killed. The little details you're allowed to do when you suddenly are insanely good at this game. The gold base is up here, guys. There is a gold base on this map. Lings, wait for the Reaper, push it back. Looked like he was thinking about jumping back up there. Doesn't go for it though. Oh, no Ling speed. SERRAL decided to not go Ling speed. Oh, isn't that interesting? Feels a little half-baked, doesn't it, guys? Maybe, I guess he was worried about 2x Reaper, and upon seeing it, he said, well, let's do the Roach build. It's not as efficient as the gasless, you know, into Roach build that he did out on Torches. I don't expect him to be trying to give Clem the worm on Sandworm until the late game. Could see Nidus Worms in the late game. Main base has some good space in it. Quite a few areas to try to defend and cover. 1 Roach is coming out. 3 Roaches on the way. We are going full Roach Boy for now. The question is, in the final game, does SERRAL go aggressive? Because remember, SERRAL went super aggressive in that game 9. It was ley lines, got him with a 50 drone kind of Ravager Ling. I can't remember if he had Carapace or not, but it was a super committed attack. I think SERRAL's not going to feel confident doing something like that in game 7 this time. I think he's going to try and macro it out. We'll find out. Here's a Hellion Banshee build. Overlord sacrifices to see that. Roaches are here. Lair started. Pretty standard, 440, 435, something like that. Third command center already floating down. Both sides work. Production is exceptional. Engineering bay is down at about 450. Double Evo chamber should be about a minute later, maybe 45 seconds if he's lucky. Oh no, he's out of position! Or is he? Oh! SERRAL does lose 2 drones still, but look at that. Even if you bounce the queen, there's a reserve queen blocking the top of the ramp. Unfortunately, 3 more drones pop out, which does suck. But you're going to kill at least a few of these Hellions. I mean, it's still, I think this is fine for Clem. I know that feels bad, but I think with the mining time as well, 4 Hellions for 5 drones and all that mining time, I think it's acceptable. You really know what you're up against right now. Oh, the Spore Crawler does take a few seconds to root. Doesn't actually get any damage on these drones. Okay, finally gets one, but Clem, I'm looking at his face right now because that was a little sloppier with the micro than he normally is, and that's the sort of stuff that frustrates him, you know. Clem can get a little frantic sometimes. It's kind of crazy because I always thought, from looking at like the demeanor of the original OG top Terrans, pretty much everyone that wasn't Beyond always looks super calm when they play. And I wasn't expecting kind of the next level best Terran in the world, highest skill level Terran we've ever seen by far, which Clem is absolutely that, especially just like the mechanical game, out of this world. But he plays a bit more like Beyond, in that he is a little more frantic. Spams clicks, jumps his camera around almost like a crazy person. You'd think he's having a heart attack, but he's actually so good at managing that frantic speed. Guys, he's blocking the queen with the Hellion! He was blocking the queen from getting on the Banshee. Clem. And he gets the cancel for it. What? What in the world is this micro? Who does that? Dude, that is so impressive. Oh my gosh, doing some Warcraft 3 micro with the Hellion, that was so cool. Blocking that queen off creep, he knew he needed just a few more seconds to get that damage. Now, on the other hand, it's a pretty big delay on the 4th. Hive has already started. It's a 6-minute 40 Hive. 1-on upgrades aren't too far behind. This is 8 racks. He's going to go 8 racks! Oh, he's all in, guys. Clem is going to go for broke in game 7. He says, oh yeah, you got me with a cheeky Ravager Ling? You think I'm going to play normie StarCraft? Nuh-uh. He's going 3 barracks in the back of his base. SERRAL's not scouting for it, and he's absolutely not expecting it. He's also playing Macro Roach into Ling Bane, a style which I absolutely hate, because the Ling Bane comes in so late, it's super hard at this moment where your Ling Bane doesn't have Baneling speed yet, your army's kind of weak. Then again, this is such an early push for Clem. Clem doesn't 8 racks like nobody else. He starts pushing well before the 8 racks is even finished. The mad lad, he wants another kill on that 4th base. Clem does not know how to contain himself, and you know what? It's paying off. No time for your hive. No time for your 1-1. The Roach Ravager drone is getting mauled. SERRAL's on 81 workers, but he's getting smashed. He did not see this push coming. He's not ready for it. CLEM! Oh my lord, the Banshees come back in from that side. They're not doing that much, but it's just kind of distracting SERRAL while the Marine tank is having an absolute ball. Dude, he just bopped him. If he saves the tanks and stims away, the perfect withdraw, which is what separates CLEM from so many other Terrans, he will get damage and then he'll pull back and he'll wait to heal up and then he'll go hit you again with an even better angle and timing. He's so hard to deal with. The Vipers are coming in, but the Hive really is not having an impact on this game. 75 drones and nowhere to mine. This fourth base is cursed. SERRAL, it's a haunted base. The Zerg are going to tell stories about the 6 o'clock base on Sandworm for decades to come. They're going to talk about the Terran ghosts, the shades that come out at night to take you down. But oh my god, he takes out 3 siege tanks. CLEM there, he can't be affording little mistakes like that. He's way ahead in this game. He should not be giving up advantages like that. Marines, Changelings over on that side. Roach Ravager Bane trying to defend. The Bane's not quite able to connect. The Marines are running forward. Roach Ravager Link Bane is here. Where's the Parasitic? Oh, he can't do it because the Banshees are invisible. There's no Overseer. Blinding Cloud on the tank is nice. Bane's trying to get on top. Good spreadies for CLEM, but he does take a big Bane to the face. The reinforce might be too much anyway. The Queens finally get rid of the Banshees. Oh, they really put in work, didn't they, those Banshees? Fourth base on the gold. And look at these workers trying to mine, guys. Oh, my lord, that sucks. He's quickly got to break these rocks. If SERRAL brings this game back, I dub him Supreme Wizard of the North. He who makes comebacks that nobody should ever be able to make comeback. Man that somehow is not dead, even though he should be dead right now. Even after getting those tanks to the biles, even after that, he still looks kind of screwed, man. Marine tank coming through the middle right now as well. They're going to try to get forward. The Link Bane does try to jump on front. Oh, ambush, ambush. Oh, you want to go into my main base, says SERRAL. I know your tricks, you cheeky Terran player. Shuts down the double drop. If he can defend the push in the middle, he might just be able to get back in this. SERRAL has a gold base mining. The fourth for CLEM is only halfway done. It's incredibly late. Holy crud. If he could counter, a Ling counterattack actually right now would be excellent because it's going to be really hard to get Ravagers in range of these tanks. This is kind of a bait for CLEM. Oh, unless you've got Vipers. I forgot about a Dart. Hello, SERRAL. SERRAL is back in this game. I can't believe this, guys. SERRAL is back in this game. There's a reason he went Ravagers and then rushed the Vipers. When this map first came out, I kept going, how do you defend this tank position? This is unfair. And I was literally theorizing how to play Ling Bane on this map for 5 minutes, and then Scarlet in chat, she went, or you could just build some Ravagers and bile them. And I was like, oh, right. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I think SERRAL apparently operating on that same level of intelligence. He's like, let's get Ravagers, let's get Vipers. Don't go for the drop again. CLEM cannot resist that main base. That main base right now is an absolute magnet. It's an absolute magnet. Ling Bane, Roach Ravager trying to push up the left. Pull back, pull back. That tank is nasty. Good tank, good tank. Now, SERRAL's still got limited creep control, but he does have a 5th base up, and he's only on 69 workers. As much as I believe in the power of memes, guys, I don't know if 69 workers is really the economy you want as a Zerg. He's got back to an okay position. The 4th is very late for CLEM, but CLEM is about to have a fully mining gold 4th. Your 4th gold will mine out faster than his. Vipers in the open. You know CLEM's going to click on that. Okay, but Parasitic Bombs could land, or Abducts. Oh, SERRAL's been so good with his Abducts. And notice how he instantly doesn't let his Banelings blow up. He control clicks them, makes them move away. Think about this game, guys. This is a moment in StarCraft history you're all witnessing right now. Sandworm, Game 7, PiGFest 6 semi-finals. And both players were 69 workering each other there for a solid 4 or 5 minutes. And now, 73 for CLEM, 67 for SERRAL. Big army coming forward in the north. The Ling Bane there. The Baneling's not quite morphed. The Blinding Cloud on the tanks is excellent. Oh my lord, SERRAL's going to get on top of this army. CLEM being a bit too cavalier here. One Viper does go down. Oh my lord. Okay, he's got to pull left. He's got to pull left. No. One Viper's still there. It's still got the energy. A little bit anyway. But the army does chase him now. He doesn't have enough creep control. It feels like now CLEM's starting to find value. And if SERRAL can't, on this cramped map, find a way to, like, really shut down an army or push him completely back, it's going to be quite hard. I think he's got to just get rid of that tank. That tank is so annoying there. And CLEM, when he's able to start a step off creep, you really get to see who CLEM is! I'm sorry, Terran fans. I didn't realize I had this power. I was just complimenting what happens when he's able to stim and micro his Marines perfectly, but he wasn't looking for a moment. Oh no! Ling Bane Ravager dancing back and forwards. Bile's going to go across the front line. There's still a lot of terror in here. Clem's macro is unperturbed, guys. And you know what is perturbed? SERRAL's early game was terrible, remember. And even though he's taken some excellent fights, he's fought back from behind to put himself in a playable position. He goes for the counter, but it's plan C. He cannot lose this position. Clem dives into the bases at the same time. SERRAL counters. Clem scrambles back to the wall, gets the depot up. Clem, with the spryness of a young lad, somehow gets the depot up in that emergency situation. At the same time, SERRAL runs forward here. Abducting the siege tanks could be real nice. He's going to abduct one on the left, one in the middle as well. The Banelings continue after the bio. The Lings got held. It was such a big Ling army. They finally break through, but there's only the dregs left. That Ghost must have like 10 kills. Yeah, he's got 6. Each one of those Marines killed 4 or 5 Zerglings. The wall off holds. SERRAL loses his 5th. The bio army does not get overrun. And SERRAL is going to have to tap out in an epic Game 7, just 3 seconds shy of 13 minutes and 37 seconds. GG, well played. Clem comes out on top despite SERRAL making him work awfully hard for that. GG, well played. Dude, GG, well played. Massive series. Well-deserved win. Looked like you were gonna maybe get like a 4-1 or something like that. And then SERRAL started to do SERRAL things. The battlecruiser didn't quite work out. I love that you tried the meme there. Yeah, what was going through your head at the start of that final game? Because it was, you know, down to Game 7. What was the stress like? What were you thinking?
I was a bit stressed out, and I was a little bit tilted as well from the last game because I knew I should have won like the game on Tokamak. I think the map name was. I should have won that game. Like every time these kind of games, I should just win them. But after that, I was a little bit frustrated, a little bit tilted. But yeah, I tried to just not think about it too much going into the next game, because that's sometimes what I do. Like my mistake is like I get a little bit annoyed about a game, and then when I'm playing the next one, I still think about the other game, and then it's not good. So just try to forget a bit about that game once the next one started. And yeah, I was a little bit nervous as well.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to clear the mental palate. You know, it's like getting a bad taste out of your mouth sometimes, you know, when you have a really bad game. Yeah. It's like kissing someone who smokes like 5 packs of cigarettes a day. You're like, oh my gosh, this tastes nasty. Get some breath mints or something, you know. It's not the most pleasant. You managed to get it out though. So what was kind of your strategy going into the final game? Was there any like specific focus? You did go 8 racks, so was it just be more aggressive? This is a small map.
Yeah, pretty much. What I was thinking is I never went 8 racks the series before that, and the map is very small. Yeah, so yeah, in my head it's pretty good for 8 racks, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to 8 racks and see how it goes. And also my plan was to block the linear third base, because what they try to do usually is they take linear third and then they take the gold and they play roaches, and that's very hard to deal with because it's very hard to push into roaches in that scenario.
Yeah.
So my plan was to block the linear third base and make him take the bottom base that he took that game, for example. And because it's way more awkward for him if he takes the triangle third and then takes the gold, because then I can go like on top of the gold and all of that stuff, and I can be more annoying. So yeah, that was just my plan going into it. And I was thinking he was gonna play roaches, and I would just try to 8 racks into it and just see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a pretty good plan. You didn't pick the map earlier. Is it just a comfort level?
Yeah, well, yeah. There was other maps that I felt more comfortable on than Sandworm. Like, maybe it's not bad for Terran, but sometimes, yeah, I've had some rough games on this one where they just take the gold pretty fast and they have a really good eco, and then they go like ultra after fast roaches, and it can be a bit tricky. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Most of the maps I felt more comfortable on.
That's so interesting because yeah, I was just wondering because I was like, oh, you made the map feel very claustrophobic as you were playing it. Like it was kind of in that game casting it where I was like, oh, is this map really good for Terran? You know, just because the way you were playing, and obviously that's momentum, right? That's little things. You're too young to have grown up playing Warcraft 3. Have you ever played Warcraft 3 multiplayer? Because that Hellion block on the Queen was very Warcraft 3. That was awesome.
Yeah, I actually have played Warcraft 3 when I was in the middle school. On the middle school like PCs, we could play some Warcraft 3. So play some Warcraft 3 with the friends, some Dota as well on the Warcraft 3 mod, Dota 1. That was fun. Yeah, the block was pretty fun. It worked out as well, and so yeah,
Yeah. Well, then
that
your
was
next
pretty
push
fun.
came so early as well, and like you said, you forced him into the awkward expansion pattern. I don't think he saw that push coming at all, and like he was kind of reeling from there. He did land the bile on the three tanks coming forward, and then he started doing really good things with his Vipers, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh no. I was a bit worried
Yeah.
for you. How worried were you when you lost the tanks and the Vipers started just killing tank after tank?
I was very, very, very worried because I could feel like the game slipping away out of my control a little bit. Like I knew, like once I killed the fourth base once with the benches, I was like, okay, it's good start. And then I went with my push, and then I killed the fourth base again. And the tanks also had some good shots on his army, and I tried it pretty well. And at that point, I was like, okay, it should be like if I don't make too many slip ups, it should be a pretty good game for me. But then I kept on pushing his third base a little bit, and I took some awkward trades against the banelings, and I had a few micro slip ups, and then yeah, I could feel the game slipping away. And it happens a lot against SERRAL as well, where he had a good start sometimes, and he just makes a couple of good moves, and suddenly he's entirely back into it. So it felt very scary, but I guess my eco was just, or I guess his eco was just not that good the entire game, so he couldn't quite keep up with the production.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it was like you were both on 69 workers for a while, so it was a bit too close there maybe. But dude, what a great way to finish. It was so exciting. This was really, really fun. I mean, I kind of just want to delve through the maps a little bit more because it did feel like there was no long drawn out macro game. It was a bit more brutal on both sides, right? For both of you, like there's a lot of like, okay, now I just smash you, and now I smash you. Do you think this is kind of mostly due to the new maps and you guys not being as used to them, or something with the way the maps are designed? Maybe the bases are like more spread out or something?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I'm not too sure, honestly, because I don't have a lot of practice against Zerg on the new maps. So I don't exactly know like how they play out exactly compared to the maps before. It definitely could be. It might also just be like it'll be like random, like those games just happen to be a bit like brutal in one way or another. Like one Nidus Worm working and one like good Widowmine hit and then a good multi-prong working. Yeah, and TVZ can be like that as well sometimes, where just one thing goes like the Zerg or Terran way, and then the game just kind of snowballs out of there. So yeah, it was definitely a bit brutal on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the closest there was obviously like Maganatha and Tokamak were kind of the ones that went a bit more straightforward for you, the way you wanted. Maganatha was just you overwhelmed, like two-prong Marines, you just ground him down, right? Just good Marine starter step, good double-prong parade push, and you just got control of the momentum, turned it into a micro war. You played exactly the game you wanted. Tokamak wasn't quite as much like momentum on your side. I think he had a better opening and stuff, but he was on the ropes, right? You still had him where you wanted him, and it's the classic thing where your army's committed to the corners, opponent shoves up the middle. Should you have pushed harder through his lurkers on the front, or should your main army on the left just have rotated to a different angle earlier? Were you just sitting in the same spot for too long?
Well, yeah, I think it's a few things. Like I was watching the replay after that game because I was like, oh, how could I throw a game like this? So I was watching the replay a little bit and trying to figure out like what were my mistakes. And I think there was a couple of ways for me to still get out of that situation. Like when he attacks on my third base, on the left on his fourth or fifth, I guess fifth base, he barely had anything. He had like two lurkers, a couple of queens. Like I could have overwhelmed that on the left and then try to defend at home, for example, and so like then it becomes sometimes like a little bit of a base trade. Or I could also just have had a sensor tower at my third base that saw the move out earlier and just had more stuff in position. Like I think just not having anything ready was just a big mistake on my third base. Like I should have some units. I had one tank and one Widowmine. That's just not enough. And yeah, just bad. I guess just bad army positioning on the map. And even after that, I don't know what happened, but I just wasn't really making any army on my barracks. Like when he was attacking my third base and my natural, I was just waiting for my marauders, my ghosts to come out of the barracks, but just nothing was. I don't know why. Like I just messed up my macro. I guess nothing was producing. So then I just could never clean up his army, and then I didn't have any scans because I had to leave my third base. Yeah, it just got ugly very quickly.
You had literally just maxed. I've got the replay open at that exact moment. This is like one of these perfect things. You know, we say luck isn't everything in StarCraft, but there are like little bits of luck within what you control. And like you're not going, oh, this is the second I max out. Suddenly I don't have 3 Marauders, 4 Marauders, 8 Marines about to pop out. But that's what happened. Your last like 2 Ghosts and 5 Marines had popped out and you were maxed as the Ling Bane came in. So it's just like, it's that moment where suddenly it's like, oh man, now you have to lose all your SCVs and stuff before you can even queue up more things. And you didn't have anything queued either already, even though you were maxed, so it didn't start straight away. It's tough, these situations that do happen. But it is funny because I thought when it came in, you were just going to instantly stim on the left base and like maybe take a terrible fight into the couple of lurkers and banelings, maybe just overwhelm them. Cause like, I'm like, oh, that's Clem's instinct is caught off guard at home, attack on the other side, right? You know, the best defense is a good offense. He did have 3 lurkers, a bunch of queens and banelings. Like even though it was a very small amount of army supply, it would have been a lot of micro to break through that, right? And you did actually poke forward and you sniped one. But I think you just saw like, it's a bit too complicated to break this. And you can't just like completely ignore it home. So it was really like perfect timing for him coming in at that moment. And, it's tough to lose a game like that, which is why I think it's even more impressive that you came out in the final game playing so decisively. Were there any last thoughts on that one before I move on to talking about something else?
On that map?
Yeah, or just yeah. Sorry, because I was just rambling for a bit. So if there's anything
well, like when I was looking at the replays, if you look at this point, like right now, look at what I'm producing. I'm producing 5 Marines, 1 Medevac, and all my barracks that have tech labs are not making anything, and I still have money. Like I could make like 5 Ghosts or like 5 Marauders or something, and some Liberators maybe. But now I'm just not making anything. I think that's a huge mistake. Like I'm
the
already a bit
reactors aren't even
crumbling at that
building
point.
2 Marines either. So yeah, wow.
Yeah, like that's why I'm not sure what happened. I just wasn't quite making the right stuff for some reason. And also someone in the chat said something kind of right as well. Like I had a lot of SCVs as well, so my army supply overall was not very, very big.
Oh, you were at like 84, 85. Wow.
Yeah. I was at like 80 something, and maybe that's a little bit pushing it. Maybe.
I mean, it's good when you're trading constantly and stuff, but if the game slows down a little bit and then you get caught out of position, suddenly you regret the high SCV count, right? So
yeah, exactly. So
Maru did a lot of 95 work, where he'd just keep attacking biomine on both sides, trading, and just try to very aggressively keep taking more planetaries, and he would never stop to like build orbitals. I always thought that style. I just looked at it and thought like that is so risky if you lose one fight, because like your army is not that big, and like if the Zerg ever does catch you out of position, and I believe Dark quite a few times punished that style basically by doing what SERRAL did in this game, by just running up the production, right, and kind of catching you off guard. So really interesting just to see how that goes. You might end up facing Dark in the finals. It's Dark or Hero. Who the heck do you want to fight? It's Dark's last tournament before he goes to the military. Hero, you sometimes smash and sometimes he smashes you. Recently, you did already take down Hero in the best of 7, of course, pretty dominantly. So do you want the rematch against Hero or the fresh one against Dark? What are your thoughts on those 2 matchups?
I would rather play against Dark, and I would also be happy for Dark if he wins his semi before his last tournament before the military. So it would be cool for him if he wins. And otherwise, I think my TVZ is a bit more, like I feel a bit more comfortable in TVZ right now than TVP. And against Hero, I never know how he's gonna go. Like sometimes it goes really well for me, sometimes it goes terrible. So it's a bit more, maybe a little bit more scary in that way. Like I don't know what to expect really. But it's gonna be a little bit hard either way. But I would rather face Dark.
I think it's a good sentiment. It's funny because like I think it was it 4-1 you beat Hero?
Yeah, I think
yeah. 1 or 2 of those games, he was kind of winning pretty hard, right? And then, got a bit crazy, and you dragged your way back into some of those games. So if someone just looks at the bracket without, looking at the games, I think they're like, wow, Clem stomped him. But it's never easy against Hero, right? And I don't think it's easy against Dark either. But I think it would
sometimes the games are closer than the scoreline. It shows,
Yeah, so I think like, I always say that your series at EWC against Hero was kind of the same, where it was 4-0, but it was the closest 4-0 I've ever seen in my life. And that like you guys were fighting so hard for map control for like 5, 10, 15 minutes of just brawling every single game. Felt like it could have gone either way. Do Do you feel the same, or you felt completely in control back in EWC against him?
Nah, I mean, there were definitely some games that were super close. Like the Golden Aura game was just very close from start to finish. I was probably losing at a few points, and also the game on Oceanborn back then. I remember I took like, a really bad fight on his side of the map, and then he was very he was up way more. Or he was way ahead in the game. So yeah, it definitely had some very scary games, and it happens sometimes where, you know, in the end it was a 4-0, but if he happened to win like those games that were very close, then he could have been the other way. Like he could have went the other way around. So yeah, it was very close as well.
Heck yeah, mate. Well, thank you so much. Big congrats on taking down SERRAL. It is never easy. And, you know, you did beat SERRAL 5 times in a row. He broke the loss streak last PiGFest. Now you're back on top, showing, you know, it's not necessarily the end of the CLEM dominating SERRAL era. You guys are very evenly matched right now, which means the fans are winning. You know, this is the Zerg versus Terran rivalry. We always like seeing 2 top ZVT players just smash in a really even match because it's so fun to watch. There was a few micro moments throughout that series which I just really enjoyed watching you two interact. Widowmines retargeting on Banelings, Hellions blocking the Queens, and these little details that, you know, I love watching you two play. So good luck going forward, mate. I can't wait to cast you in the grand finals. Enjoy your break, and we'll see you later tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. See you.